If you're passionate about making your own characters for VRChat, I think you're gonna absolutely love what I'm working on. I'm also creating an extended version with exclusive additions. As of now, it already includes a downloadable version of the VRChat optimized LoveChan character, the full final Unity scene, downloadable versions of all the videos in this series as they're released, and more exclusive content will be added over time. This tutorial series is actually a collaboration between me and my brother, who is an exceptionally talented 3D artist and VRChat enthusiast. He's going to be able to explain a lot of these more advanced topics we're about to cover a lot better than I could. Don't worry though, I'm still here. This is still a full collaboration between both of us in order to make this the most useful possible video series on VRChat on the internet we could possibly make it. With that being said though, let's jump right into it. The Unity editor should still be open, having just finished the package importing, file structure creation, and script compiling for the project in the previous video. Now, I bet you're excited to take your creature from Blender and import them into the Unity editor, one step closer to getting your little creature into VRChat. Well, whoa there, bucko, we have to take care of something before we get into the fun part.
File exporting.
The key to a successful Unity project is a well-organized Unity project. Now, you can leave your files in a total state of disaster, like an artist project folder or the state of your mom's desktop. However, we're going to practice proper
file hygiene.
The Unity editor should be at its default view, where you see 4 docked sub-windows. Hierarchy on the left, Scene/Game in the center, Inspector on the right, and Project/Console below. Now, if you ever don't see these windows, or if your user interface looks off, you can return to the default Unity window layout at the top of the window on the toolbar, where you'll want to select Window/Layout/Default, which will bring the Unity editor back to the default sub-window view. Let's get into these 4 docked sub-windows a little more depth. You're going to see some familiar elements here if you're experienced with Blender or other 3D software. The Hierarchy window on the left will act as an active list of everything in our current scene. By default, the starting scene will have a main camera and a directional light within your hierarchy. Selecting the main camera will open a tiny preview window pop up on the lower right of the scene window in the center of the Unity editor. You can also select the game tab from the scene sub window to swap to a full view of your main camera. The game tab is a preview of what the in-game view of your project will be from your scene's camera. The default scene tab is an interactive 3D window of your Unity scene. Here are some 3D navigation options along with the more standard first-person style camera controls. You can orbit by holding Alt plus left click. You can pan your view by using middle mouse, you can zoom by using Alt plus right click, and you can fly around your scene by using the arrow keys, while the middle mouse will pan your view. Holding right click and using WASD lets you fly around your scene in first person. At the top right of your scene sub window, you'll have what's called an orientation gizmo. You can select one of the listed axes, either X, Y, or Z, to quickly hop to that view in the scene. Clicking on that same axis again will shift the view from perspective to orthographic, which essentially will take all the perspective out of your scene, making things feel very two-dimensional. This is helpful if your view becomes skewed, or if you want a side view for lining up objects with your avatar, like a prop or an article of clothing. But let's talk about the Project tab. This contains an in-editor representation of the file structure of your actual Unity project's folder. By default, you'll have your favorites at the top, followed by the Assets folder and the Packages folder below. These are both from within the main folder of your installation path for your Unity project. The Assets folder is for your files. This is where we'll be storing all of the assets we'll be bringing into this project. Sometimes installed add-ons will add additional folders and files to your Asset folder. The Packages folder is for packages that have been installed either by yourself or in the Creator Companion. For the most part, you won't be using assets from within the Packages folder, but keep its location in mind for later. As your avatar project gets more complicated, as you add additional assets to your model, it's a good idea to create subfolders for cleanliness and organizational purposes. You can do this from either your File Explorer or by navigating to the installation path of your Unity project. However, you can also do this completely within the Unity editor by working inside the Project tab sub-window here. Let's keep things within the Unity editor for this tutorial and use the Project tab sub-window. To start, you're going to want to right-click on an empty area of the Assets File Path sub-window and go to the top of the context menu that came up in order to create a new folder. Click Create Folder and name it Avatar. The context menu here has several options and asset types that you can create for your project. Some of these we will be coming back to, but we'll touch on them as they're relevant. Inside your newly created avatar folder, there are a few subfolders that you're going to want to create. One for models, textures, materials, and animations. After you're done making all of those folders, we can begin importing the assets and data we created for our avatar. Once again, you can copy them into the installation path of your Unity project using your favorite file explorer, or as we're going to do in this tutorial, you can simply work from within the Unity editor itself by clicking and dragging into a folder using the Project tab sub-window. Clicking and dragging a file into the editor also creates a copy, so there's no need to copy and paste into a folder. Just dragging into the editor's file window will create a copy in the assets folder for Unity to use. But before we do that, let's make sure we have our assets ready to import.
File exporting.
To start, let's open up Blender and ensure that we have LoveChan VRChat tutorial _00 opened, which is the blend file that I've provided with this course. At this point, you should be seeing your fully rigged character model in your Blender scene. Thankfully, we just need what's visible in our file for this export, so we're going to want to export our character as an FBX file for use in Unity. For those who don't know, FBX is a universal 3D model file format used by game engines and modeling software alike. While the Unity editor can use a blend file natively, on the back end, Unity secretly converts blend files into FBX files upon import, so you're just kind of saving yourself the extra step by exporting as an FBX yourself. This also gives you more control of the final outcome of your export. The FBX file type is also a container file format similar to a zipped or compressed folder, meaning that FBX files can also store additional information on top of 3D models, such as textures, animations, materials, and skeletal structures. Using an FBX file gives you an extra layer of protection if something goes wrong with your scene or the blend file gets corrupted, as you're working from an exported copy rather than the original Blender scene file. Go to the top left of your toolbar in Blender by clicking File, Export, then click on FBX. In the included dropdown on the right side here, you're going to want to select Limit to Visible Objects, assuming you don't have any part of your mesh or model hidden here. You can also do limit to selected objects if you selected everything you want to export, either works fine. And in the included dropdown on the right side, under object types, shift-click both armature and mesh. The defaults for transform, scale, and animation are fine for our purposes here. However, under armature, you'll want to uncheck add leaf bones, as this adds an additional end bone on all limbs of your armature that we really don't need. We can always add leaf bones later on as needed. Name your model's FBX file, then click Export FBX. We're going to take the FBX file we just exported and drag it into the main avatar folder we just created. As it is a mesh file, we're going to want to move it to the model subfolder in order to keep our scene organized. Now, by viewing the FBX file within the Models folder in the Project tab sub-window view, we can select the FBX file. By doing that, the inspector window populates with the Rig tab for the avatar. And as we touched on previously, the FBX format is a container file format. So in order to look inside as to what was included, you'll want to select the little gray circle containing a right arrow on the right side of your file icon. Expanding this out, we can see the various assets that were included in the container. At first glance, it appears to contain several duplicates of the same objects, so let's go over what exactly is happening in this FBX file we exported. To break it down, there are three types of files inside this FBX. First being prefabs. These are denoted by the white and blue cardboard box with a taped lid icon. These are instance bundles of pre-made assets. Most avatars and avatar add-ons are prefabs, which are essentially a copy of an asset someone configured or wrote scripts for, so you can speed up your own avatar process. Currently, in the FBX file, we have prefabs for the armature, which appears empty but contains the skeletal rig structure we just exported from Blender, and each of the meshes for the body, eyes, face mesh, and mouth mesh. The second type of file you're going to find inside FBXs are materials. These are denoted by the sphere with a blue highlight icon. In materials, there are blank material placeholders. You can tell because you'll see a solid white material for each material slot the mesh is set to use. In our case, it's the body, face, and mouth. Finally, the last thing you're going to find in FBXs are meshes. These are denoted by the blue wire grid icon, and meshes are the unique 3D objects we exported from Blender. Prefabs for meshes take the mesh and attach a material renderer slot for the attached mesh's material. As a result, they're ready to drag and drop within our scene. Technically, the FBX file acts as a prefab of the main unexpanded file, as it includes all the prefabs we just listed under one object. For our purposes here though, I'm going to hide the main camera and directional light in the scene hierarchy menu so they're not in our way using the little eye icon on the leftmost side. As for adding our avatar to the scene, you can simply drag and drop the FBX file into the hierarchy. Doing this will place it at world 0 without any position or rotational transforms, and the scale will be set to Unity's default value of 1. Otherwise, you can drag and drop the FBX file into the scene window itself for more immediate control as to where it's placed in the scene. This is good if you want to quickly get an accessory like a sword or tool into the grip of your avatar without having to start from 0. Generally for VRChat, we'll be dropping it in the hierarchy and working from world 0.
Bonus tip.
If you're ever off-center or wish to change the center of your object's orbit, when you have the object selected in the hierarchy and press the F key, it will frame the object and move the origin of the scene editor camera to said object. With all that said though, now that we've gone over what you can expect to see in an FBX container inside the Unity editor, let's set up your model to be recognized as a rigged avatar that Unity and VRChat can use.